Welcome to Wilsonart Training Centre. My name's Paul Graham. Today I'll be going through the guidelines and techniques of our Earthstone product, which will be a comprehensive guide through installation, finishing and maintenance of our product.
The tools you'll need to work with the Earthstone range of products are almost identical to those that you use with normal laminates. The only specialist tool that you will need with this product is a random orbital sander. Belt sanders should be avoided.
We are now set up to do the connecting bolts as you would do with any other worktop. We are ready to apply 2 biscuit joints, which is done with a jointer machine and biscuits to be inserted, which is number 20. If you haven't got a sharp router bit in your router, what could happen, instead of a clean cut, you'll have a ragged cut. This being where chipboard is being pulled instead of cut. That is why you do a dry fit. If a dry fit leaves a gap, it's advisable just to get some sandpaper, keeping away from the sharp edge, just to clean off any rags that might be there. Now we're ready to join the 2 worktops, and what we do to do that is we use a 2-part seam adhesive, which is formulated and colour matched for this material. Because it's a 2-part resin, it needs to be purged. Both glue and the seam adhesives come out of the nozzle at the same rate. Now you've got the hardener coming through at the same rate as the colour. Attach the nozzle small to small, in and twist, and now you're ready to glue. The glue has got a curing time of anything between 10 and 20 minutes depending on the temperature. If it's warmer inside, it'll go off quicker. If you're outside or working in a garage, the glue will take longer to cure. What we have got to do is clean the joints, be it the mason's mitre, or if you've got to put end caps on, you must clean it off with denatured alcohol. This will get rid of any dust or debris that you may have in the joints. If you fail to do so, what could happen is that you'll have a brown line. That brown line will show up in the glue, which will be a dust line, and it is all because you haven't cleaned it with your denatured alcohol.
When dry fitting of the joint has been completed, it's been deragged and cleaned, apply the adhesive in a long bead, applying it to all surfaces, into any biscuit joints, and also making sure that the bead of adhesive runs down into the joint. Push together and check for a really good squeeze out to help create an inconspicuous joint.
What we need to do now, guys, is because the glue is in position now, you can't see whether you've got them worktops level. Mallet, chisel. What you do is you just feel your joint, make sure it's nice and flat. If you're happy with that, move away. If you're not happy with it, knock the piece that's raised down, or correspondingly knock the other piece up.
Tighten the jointing bolts and wait for the joint to dry. Don't be tempted to wipe away any excess with a tool or with your finger. Leave it to dry. When the new joint is completely dry, excess material can be removed by firstly using a block plane or a chisel where appropriate. Then finish with the orbital sander, going up through the grits starting at 150, then 180, finally 240, and then finish with a Scotch-Brite pad.
In some instances you'll need to put end caps on. There are two methods to do this. One is a plant-on method and the other one is an undermount method, both of which I'll be going through in this demonstration.
The plant-on method involves bonding a piece of 6mm material to the end of the worktop, which means that it adds 6mm to the overall dimension, so be aware of this. The method requires a clean, sharp edge in order to bond the 6mm material to. So we route off in one single cut a sharp edge using the straight edge guide shown here. Following routing, don't forget to derag the cut edge. Then using cleaning alcohol, clean the end cap and the cut edge surface. Remember to prepare the adhesive gun as we have done before, purging it and replacing the nozzle. The adhesive is applied to all surfaces. The end cap is then offered up, ensuring that an adequate amount of squeeze out occurs. It is then secured in place using 3-position clamps and finally secured using fibre tape. The undermount method requires cutting a rebate to accept the 6mm thick end cap material. This is done using a router and a straight edge as before, plunging in at least 3 steps to reveal the underlying material. The underlying material must be completely free of any chipboard residue in order to avoid unsightly brown residue lines in the finished piece. Following the rebating process, remember to derag the joint area. The end cap material must be milled straight and flat. Offer this up to the joint to ensure that you have no gaps. Clean the joint area with denatured alcohol on all surfaces, including the end cap material. Glue is now applied, squeeze out occurs, it is clamped into position, material tape is used on the end to pull the joint together, and it's secured with a 3-point clamp. When the joint is finished, it will look like this. The finishing of both edge methods is almost identical and starts with the use of a trimmer to remove excess material. For the undermounted method, a bottom bearing trimmer is used so that it runs along the edge of the material, keeping a nice clean line to the edging. This is then followed by the use of a 3mm roundover piece to return the factory edge finish on both top and bottom as applicable, and then the use of the orbital sander going up through the grits. Be careful on the edge to keep the orbital sander as flat as possible, minimising the amount of time spent rounding over the edge, and then finally finish with a Scotch-Brite pad.